Make some noise if I mention anything that you like. He is a comedian, actor, director, and screenwriter whose body of work includes, but absolutely not limited to, Scrooged, Unhappily Ever After, Hercules, Shakes the Clown,
Yeah.
Skylanders, one guy, okay, The Police Academy Films,
Yeah.
God Bless America.
Yeah.
Please welcome Bobcat Goldthwait.
Hello. Hey, would anyone like a hug? Me too. Hi, thank you for coming.
Tino warned me about you.
This is way more people than I imagined. Thank you. No, I shouldn't say that. I should say I'm glad we could fit you all in. There we go. Hey.
Hey, thanks for joining us here this weekend.
Thanks for having me. This is my first Comic-Con ever. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I was really nervous. I thought it was just going to be me sitting in a booth and having one sweaty guy like Chris Farley from when he would do the Chris Farley Show sketch. Remember when you were in that movie? That was cool. It hasn't been that at all. But I am, I'm sorry, you probably want to...
No, bro, no.
No, but I used to direct the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Oh.
And so I know what it's like being a fan, because one day Grover was on the Muppet. Not that you're going Washington or Cleveland, but Grover... And he was just laying on the floor when I came to rehearsal, Grover. It was really weird to see, you know what I mean? Like, it's creepy. It looked like he had been skinned or something. It was weird. And I said to the puppeteer, I was like, yo, that is fucking up my shit big time. Can you put Grover on? And I watched the guy put Grover on, and then Grover goes, hi, Bobcat! And in my head, I'm like, Grover knows my name! It was the most starstruck I've ever been in my life. And everybody thought I was joking, because I was so starstruck. I couldn't talk. And I was Chris Farley. Like, remember Grover when you... Remember when you were near, and then you were far, and then you were near again? And that was cool, Grover.
Thank you. Would you like to buy an autograph now?
So I know what it's like to be a fan. Yeah.
It's like, is there anybody here this weekend you've kind of like looked, oh wow, it's like...
No, I haven't been around. I mean, there's Shatner, but everyone's afraid to talk to him, you know? I will tell you a story about William Shatner and myself. I did a movie called Hot to Trot, and I should have known the movie was in trouble, because the first day I went into my dressing room and they had a girdle for me, and it said, written across it in Sharpie, it said, Shatner. It was William Shatner's girdle. I should have stole it. I could have paid for my daughter's college.
I'll sit with him on stage, and one time he just had something done. He was bleeding just a little bit. So I was like, hey Bill, I got this. And I handed him some tissues, and I was like, oh Patty, I'll go too. And they handed me too. And I was like, I'll take that. He was like, oh no, I know what this is worth.
And then you cloned him.
No,
He was bleeding from his ear, and he
stood
stood up and
he cleaned up with some Kleenex that I handed him.
he jumped up and he said, fight, fight, fight. That's a Trump joke. All right. So let's do the interview.
So whenever I have somebody for one, just me and one person, to go in the origin story. So how did this all begin for you? How did you fall into comedy, which led to everything else we've enjoyed from you?
Well, when I was really little, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then
Explains Hot to Trot.
yeah, well, that dog could have used that horse could have used a vet, because it had diarrhea, and sometimes it would make Jackson Pollocks on the wall when we were trying to act. That's a bad story. Okay, so Robin Williams was a really good friend of mine, and I was making Hot to Trot, and he said, sometimes they would hit that horse in the mouth to make it. Here's the thing, horses don't really talk. And I really love animals, so it was really disturbing that they would hit it in the mouth so it would go, you know, and he's like, so how's it going? I go, well, it'd be like doing Mork and Mindy, and just when they yell action, someone punched Pam Dauber in the mouth. I said, it's really hard. All right, so I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then when I was 9 years old, I saw George Carlin on the Dinah Shore talk shows during the day, and I asked my mother, what does he do for work? What does he do for a living? And she said, he does that. And so at 9, I decided I was going to be a comedian from watching George Carlin. Then as I got older, Andy Kaufman came around, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Because my early stand-up was, you know, the persona that people know me for, that, like my early stand-up was not a lot of stand-up. I would just do things, like, I'd come out, and it was a version of that character. I'd be crying or really nervous and say, thank you, it feels really good to be here tonight. And that'd be, it doesn't feel good to be here, and I'm crying, and I read a Dear John letter, which was a real Dear John letter I'd gotten, and I'm sobbing, and then I'd go back to my act. I go, thank you very much, it's nice to be here. My wife is so fat, you know. How fat is she? I go, I told you I don't even have a girlfriend. And I would be sobbing. And then I would do stuff like, and now is the time of the show where I like to gut and clean fish. And I said, does anyone have any fish? And then my roommate would have fish, and then I would gut them. But once the trout had been in the trunk of a car, and I got it, and it was rancid, and immediately on the smell, this woman in the front row vomited, and I put the mic down so you could hear her vomiting over the PA, and so there's fish guts and puke, and I go, that's my act, thank you, good night. And swear to God, the next comic up was this guy who, I'm not gonna say his name, but he wasn't really good at ad-libbing, so he comes out and he goes, do we have any newlyweds? Like, he didn't acknowledge that the whole stage was filled with gore. So that was a club I didn't get asked back to. So my act was always, I was trying to make fun of stand-up because I wanted to do it from such an early age. Then by the time I was doing it, I started doing it like 15, 16 years old. And I started doing it with Tom Kenny, who's SpongeBob and a million other voices. So Tom Kenny and I met in first grade. I was this little fat kid, and I got kicked. The nun that was teaching me broke down in tears because I was such a pain in the ass. So she couldn't handle me, and she dragged me into Tom's classroom. There was 2 first grades, and she drags me into the classroom, and she's like, I can't take him anymore, sister. So she leaves me in the other class, and I was upset because I thought I wasn't going to see my classmates anymore. And then Tom thought I was really cool because I could make a nun cry. And he introduced himself at lunch, and we've been friends ever since. So we're both 63, so that was, my God. 57 years I've known Tom Kenny, yeah. I've never felt that funny because Tom Kenny, I'm sure a lot of you had a chance to meet him and stuff. He's the funniest person. I mean, he's so fast, he's so funny. And him doing voices wasn't anything new. When we were kids, you know, we'd come back from school and he'd retell the story, but he would do all the teachers' voices, and he's never been an impersonator. He would always do voices, and it like enhances the stories he's been telling. He's never said, this would sound like that. You know, he just, you know, and much like Robin, I've noticed this with the 2 of them, like, that someone will talk and then walk away, and both of them will start trying to mimic a new voice or a new sound. It's just like a weird thing about them. But So I've had good friends that were very hyper, that didn't use their real voices.
So, would you say that Police Academy kind of was your
Yeah, I mean,
level up moment in film?
That's how people got familiar with me, but I was doing that character on stage, and the producers from Police Academy saw me, and then they asked me to be in it, and then so I was in Police Academy 2, so I think that's how people knew me, but at the same time, all those years ago, I would have HBO specials, so people weren't familiar, like, I still run into this, like people don't realize I have material, so they're confused when they come to an act, and I'm not doing this persona from 35 years ago that I'm actually telling stories or jokes, you know. And I understand the expectations, but I think if you just saw a guy make vowel sounds for 50 minutes on stage, eventually you go, Jesus, I wish you would make a joke. I could have saw Pauly Shore. I'm an asshole. I know I'm an asshole. And my wife is an actor, and we just got married last year. She's, thank you. Her name's Pollyanna McIntosh. So if you were Walking Dead, she was a character called Jadis, but everybody that's working at this convention, they go, "Your wife is so nice." I go, "Yeah, I know she's nice." I go, "She likes people," but she is really nice. So we got married while we were driving my pet ducks from Illinois to LA. I have pet ducks. Celebrities, they're just like us, and ironically, the ducks couldn't fly. So we drove them across the country, and we were in this 4-star hotel, and I was taking the ducks out of the bathtub, and I'm putting them in their cages, and I say to Pollyanna, I go, "This cage has 2 doors, and this cage has 1 door. Isn't that weird?" And she looks up from cleaning duck shit off a really expensive carpet and looks up at me and she goes, "Yeah, that's what's weird." And the next day we eloped. I was like, wow, I really found my person. She understands that it's normal to drive across the country.
Me.
Yeah. I was kicked out of a hotel in Las Vegas because of the ducks. They were like, "Sir, do you have ducks in there?" And I'm like, "My son is autistic." Sorry, I know the crowd I'm in front of too, and I know I shouldn't say that, but we all are on the spectrum.
They were,
Yeah,
we're all good.
No, we really are. We all are. This will probably be my last one they ask me
No, this is great. You're making my life easy.
to. I'm sorry. Okay, ask a question.
This is
Ask a question.
no.
I get nervous and I talk a lot.
Okay, so hit the ground running with the Police Academy films, but then one movie that popped up on that I will always adore, One Crazy Summer.
Yeah.
Savage Steve Holland.
Savage Steve Holland, One Crazy Summer. That was I really, really enjoyed making that movie. It's actually the first time I directed. I didn't realize that. There was a scene inside that movie where you go to the drive-in and they go to, I can't remember the name of the movie, it's like Hemorrhoids from Hell or something, I don't know, but they're watching this movie at the drive-in and I got to direct that. And I forgot that until we were doing the VO. And in my movie we had, I had all these like, atmosphere and smoke machines and chainsaws and lightning cues and Savage Steve Holland goes, I want to go work on Bobcat's movie. But yeah, so that was the first thing I directed.
It's the guy with the hedge clippers.
Yeah, it's just
wait. Why is he landscaping at